Let's talk about authentic expression for a second, because there seems to be a ton of confusion around it, which makes sense given that most of us are in some degree of emotional repression. I think of it this way: when we're still, as adults, unconsciously repressing our emotions from childhood, we're basically locked into a compulsion to be inauthentic. Meaning the repression programming in our bodies make it impossible for us to say what we truly primarily feel, right? All we can say in that state is what we secondarily feel, or what's safer, or what we think and believe. And this is where most of the confusion around authentically expressing arises. There's an assumption that authentic expression is equivalent to saying what you think and believe. But the truth is, when we're in emotional repression, what we think and believe is a product of our inauthenticity, or a manifestation of buried repressed emotions. Let me give you two very common examples. For an anger repressor, or someone who can't authentically express anger, a belief gets created in their system that says, people should be kind. Now, of course, the ... on the end of that belief is, so I don't have to get angry. But anger repressor doesn't recognize that. Instead, people should be kind becomes their truth, right? It becomes their authentic expression. And alternately, for a hurt and vulnerability repressor, the belief gets created, people should be strong, ... so I don't have to feel hurt or vulnerable. But again, in their emotional repression, they don't recognize that. And so people should be strong becomes their philosophy, or, the way things should be. You've probably heard a hurt repressor at some point in your life say of someone, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind, right? That's almost always an inauthentic form of protection for them. Giving someone a piece of our mind, if we're unable to express what we really feel at the deepest level, hurt for a hurt repressor, anger for an anger repressor, is the opposite of authentic expression. People call it being honest, but it's a smokescreen. True authenticity is the ability to be emotionally honest. And real emotional honesty is an impossibility when we're in emotional repression. I know it sounds extreme, but our bodies will literally not let us do it. Until we start challenging what we think and believe as a means to resolve the emotional repression that forces us into emotional dishonesty and pretense. So if someone's talking about authenticity or authentic expression, and they're not talking about resolving emotional repression, then they're talking about fake or inauthentic authenticity. And if you'd like to learn how to access the real thing and become emotionally honest, then tap the link in the caption or the bio.